As we begin the observance of Yom HaShoah, we join as one in expressing shared grief over the greatest tragedy ever to befall the Jewish people. I am gratified by the distinguished guests participating with us in this solemn ceremony. Ambassador of Israel, Dr. Alona Fisher, come. Thank you for what you're doing here on behalf of the State of Israel. Representative of the Serbian government, City Manager of Belgrade, Mr. Goran Vesic, thank you for your support in the Jewish community, not only here in Belgrade, but all over. Jewish Community President in Belgrade, Danilo Medic. Esteemed spiritual leader, Rabbi Yitzchak Chachiel. Rabbi? Hi. And I'm really pleased to see representative of the next generation that are standing behind, because it's most important that not only us will remember the Shoah, but the young generation will transfer what happens from ledor vador, from generation to generation. So I'm pleased to see you here. Dear members of Israel Bonds delegation, thank you for coming from Panama, from Brazil and Mexico. Every Serbian Jew that was murdered, and there were thousands, had a personal story now lost to history. In 1941, there were 16,000 Serbian Jews. 3 years later, less than 2,000 remained. A Gestapo official bragged in German, he said, Serbian is Judenfrei. Serbia is free of Jews, highlighting the destructive goal of the Nazis. What binds survivors and victims alike is the fact that they experienced the most terrifying, unspeakable event in the annals of human history. Never before had a specific group been singled out for a mass extermination. The simple fact of being Jewish was a death sentence in the 40s. Exactly 3 years after the surrender of Nazi Germany, the Jewish future changed forever. And our destiny, the Jewish people's destiny, shifted from destruction to redemption. That was the electric moment when David Ben-Gurion proclaimed the establishment of the reborn of the State of Israel. As they built and defended their nation with foresight and resolve, perceptions of the Jewish people changed as well. Ben-Gurion highlighted this dynamic shift in his typical eloquent way, and I quote, Israel has created a new image of a Jew in the world, the image of a working and intellectual people, of people that can fight with heroism. This last word, heroism, has become the defining trait of Israel people. A proud Jewish nation and its powerful Israel Defense Forces in land, air and sea are the ultimate guarantee that these two words, never again, will resonate not as a phrase, but as an unbreakable promise. It was my honor to serve as an officer in the IDF, in the Golani Brigade. This afforded me not only the opportunity, but the privilege of playing a personal part in perpetuating this promise. I also served as the government secretary for 4.5 years for 2 prime ministers, Prime Minister Ariel Sharon and Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, and I will never forget that in a ceremony in Auschwitz, Ariel Sharon as Prime Minister and me had the honor to put a mezuzah in the entrance of one of the barracks. It is a promise that reached fullest expression in 2003, when Israel Air Force jets made a dramatic pass over Auschwitz. The lead pilot, himself the son of Holocaust survivors, made this stirring declaration as Israeli fighter planes, painted with Magen David, flew low over the death camp. And this is what he said when he was in the cockpit in the F-16 above Auschwitz. We, pilots of the Israeli Air Force, flying in the skies over the camp of horrors, promise to be the shield of the Jewish people and its nation, Israel. Later this month, next week, we will celebrate the Independence Day of this proud nation. Israel and the Jewish people overcame what others would deem impossible, the rebirth of a Jewish state following 2,000 years. A nation unfailingly emerging victorious in the face of overwhelming odds, the ingathering of over 3 million exiles, nearly from 100 countries all over the world, and today's high-tech sector wonder. All this and so much more constitutes a true miracle. As we stand together in sorrow here, we remain resolute in our determination to continue the miracle. We do this in honor of the 6 million victims of the Shoah, who never had the chance to live in a world with a proud, dynamic Jewish state. May their memory always be blessed.